Hey everybody, Mark here again with exoticcarplayplace, coming back at you in the X5. And actually this video really pertains to any of the BMWs. This vintage, which happens to be the E70, would really apply largely as well to any of the BMWs in that era. So this would likely apply as well to the E60 M5 that I have at home as well, should I decide to drive that in the wintertime, which I generally don't for the most part. But we're sitting here in an iced over parking lot, and we're going to do a little test. And today's test really is going to focus on, are the BMW traction control systems up to snuff? Do they work? And if so, how well? And if they don't, well, we'll find out. But I'm going to let you guys know, you watch this. I'm going to do step by step under different driving conditions. We're going to do some under braking. We're going to do some under accelerating. And it'll mostly be, either straight line acceleration, or we're going to try accelerate through the corners. And we're going to try it with traction control on. We're also going to try it without traction control. Okay, so the first pass is going to be in a straight line acceleration with traction control on. So you saw it fight a little bit for traction, but it did do a pretty good job of kind of locking down. There's a limited amount of wheel spin allowed, but the car basically maintained composure in a straight line. So accelerating hard in a straight line with traction control on, you'll notice all wheels spinning at the same speed. Very, very little wheel spin. The next test, we're going to turn DTC, we're going to turn the traction control off. Gives us a warning on the dash, DTC activated. And now we're going to try with no traction control. Here we go. So lots of spin and I can't do anything. It's basically locking me down. I'm kind of stuck. All I do is spin wheels. All four wheels are spinning on the ice. Not a good result. Now with traction control off, you'll notice the rear wheel's actually spinning a little faster. We're slipping here. You've got some wheel spin. So the next test, I'm going to turn the traction control back on. And once I do the traction control back on, I'm going to do a turn and see, I'm going to mildly accelerate in a corner with traction control turned back on. You'll notice the fault light has cleared. And we're going to try to do a turn with traction control on. Here we go. See, I can kind of still control it. I got the foot into the gas, but it's allowing me to steer it. So now we're turning in a circle, traction control on, full throttle. And you'll notice very, very little oversteer. The car pulls right around the turn very nicely and cleanly. So this next one we're going to do in a turn, we're going to accelerate in a corner with the traction control turned off. So we're going to hit that traction control button, turn that off, and we're going to see how the car works without traction control. We're going to accelerate in the turn and see if it's able to maintain composure. Now no traction control, it's been disabled. And you'll notice as you round the corner, you start to get a dramatic amount of overspin. You get oversteering going on here where the rear end pushes out. This phenomenon continues as you round the corner. Look how much faster the inside wheel turns at the back than it does at the front. And it gets even more extreme. As you turn sharper and you build speed in the turn, you'll notice the vehicle really start to swing out at the tail end, almost out of control. Okay, so as you can see, the simple flick of a switch turns the traction control on and it turns it off. And it has a huge difference on the way the vehicle handles on the icy road. It's something that you don't want to fool around with. It's nice to be able to turn it off, so if you ever take your vehicle to the track, then you can have a little fun with that. Can you imagine what a 500 horsepower car like the M5 would do on these kind of roads? It would be just a mess. Actually, that car does that kind of stuff on dry pavement. So, you know, it's nice to have that DTC. It's nice to have that available. And BMW, I would say, does a pretty good job of keeping the vehicle stable while you're accelerating through corners on icy roads. It does a great job for sure in a straight line, but it also does a pretty good job in the corners. I was able to maintain control and continue turning that vehicle while accelerating. Yeah, I could feel some slip, and you know, I could feel the vehicle kind of surging in and out a little bit, not unlike ABS kind of on the other side of the scale. But it did a very good job of maintaining that as you were cornering. I was still able to turn the vehicle, but it wouldn't oversteer. It was allowing me to bring that vehicle around, but comfortably and in control. All right, everyone, I really hope that helped you out there. If you're considering driving your BMW X5 E70 edition, or really any of that vintage BMW stuff from back in that era in the 2000s, up through even probably a lot of the modern days react very similarly. If you're considering driving your car in snowy, crappy conditions, or in snowy, slippery, imperfect conditions, this is a great place to start if you want to see how this car actually reacts to these poor road conditions. Or maybe you're a person that's looking at buying one of these cars and wonders if it'll do what you need it to do. Maybe you live in the northern US or in Canada and you happen to find, you know, a lot of poor road conditions, and you've considered buying a BMW. You've wondered how traction control system operates in the BMW. Hope this video really kind of sheds a little bit of light on that for you. It's a very simple thing to activate and deactivate. By default, of course, it's activated. You can turn it off at the flip of a button. But again, in summary, guys, I hope that helped. I really hope that shed some light for you. And be sure to make sure and stop, check, drop a comment. Love to hear from you guys on this. If you've had different experiences or some other experiences, maybe you have something about that you'd like to share. But even more importantly, make sure you do subscribe, guys. I love to see more and more you guys dropping by my channel, interested in watching my content, which is heavily geared to the BMWs, the E60 M5s, the E70 X5s, as well as my Lamborghini and a host of other cars that I review. So everybody, love to see that you stuck around. Please do come back again, and we'll talk to you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bro, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. When you break something, you have to fix it before your mama finds out. In the trunk quickly.
Yo, yo, yo. Yo, yo, yo.